It's time for your statewide Alabama weathercast.
Good afternoon, I'm meteorologist Drew McCombs with the Alabama Weather Network, and this is your afternoon forecast update for the state of Alabama, and continuing to be quiet out there as we have been for a lot of times here recently. You can see we've got some high clouds streaming over, especially the southern part of the state. Most of the northern part of the state seeing mostly blue skies, I'd say at this point, but some high clouds here and there, but still not really impeding the sunshine from making it be a fairly warm day out there. We'll take a tour of our sky cams. Fairhope looking beautiful there, looking back towards the bay towards the Fairhope Pier there. You can see the flag fluttering a little bit there with a little bit of a breeze out of the west, 73 degrees, so and dry air in place, and it's pretty nice and about as good as you can hope fall to be, as we've seen here recently. Dozier, as we move up a little bit further to the north, a little bit more cloud cover showing, at least in this direction that we're looking. 78 degrees there for the temperature, and the winds are calm. Again, the dew point's 43 degrees, so we still got very dry air entrenched across the entire state at this point. As we move up to Alabaster, as we continue to move further to the north, less high clouds, just blue skies out there. Beautiful view there towards Oak Mountain. It's 77 degrees. And as we continue to move further towards the north and getting all the way to the state line in Ardmore, it's 73 degrees there. And it's beautiful as well. Blue skies, hard to find any clouds there in the northern part of the state, but maybe a few bugs flying around there. All right, so here's your temperatures as they stand now at 75 degrees in Coleman. We almost reached 80 in Birmingham. It's 79 degrees in Tuscaloosa, Demopolis. Lots of mid to upper 70s towards the south. Looks like we got an 80-degree reading in Chatham there right now, but I don't see any other ones at this point. However, it is warmer than it was yesterday at this point. So you can see across the state a good, roughly around 5 degrees or so below, or above what it was yesterday. So it's 6 degrees above what it was yesterday in Birmingham. A little bit further to the southeast, it's closer to what it was yesterday. But in general, we're just a little bit warmer than we were yesterday. And what we're expecting as we get through the rest of today, this week, and through the weekend is just more of this fine fall weather for tomorrow, for Saturday. Then things start to change on Sunday, as we'll have a chance of rain coming in. We'll have a passage of a system that will bring scattered showers, mainly some heavier rain probably at times. Thunderstorms are not expecting as much of an issue with those, although the far southern part of the state and along the coast could see a little bit better chance of some rumbles of thunder. Next week is looking mostly dry. There's still a little bit of uncertainty out there with some systems that will be coming through and whether they'll have enough moisture with them or not. So still some chance of some lingering showers into early next week and into the middle part of the week, but we expect to kind of dry out later next week and cool down again. But looking at our forecast lows for tonight, we'll cool down again tonight for sure. We'll see temperatures down in the 40s again, up in the north part of the state, low 40s, 41 degrees in Gaston and Coleman. I think it's certainly possible we see some upper 30s again in some of the cooler spots. And then as you move down to the south, still mainly mid 40s further south you get, and then it may be just those places down in Mobile and Baldwin counties that don't get in the 40s for tonight. Maybe not quite as cold tomorrow morning as what we were this morning, but still pretty chilly out there. And forecast highs for tomorrow, a lot of the same of what we saw today. Highs generally in the 70s in the northern part of the state and low 80s as you move into kind of the southern half of the state. Futurecast doesn't have a lot going on for the next 48 hours or so. You can see maybe a few high clouds streaming in just like we're seeing today. For Friday night football games for tomorrow evening, looks great for that. Perfect football weather. We'll give you a bit more details on that here in a second. And then as we get into Saturday late night, there could be a few showers moving in ahead of this system late night Saturday. The vast majority of the day should be dry, and anything that comes in Saturday night should be pretty light. So we think, again, most places will stay completely dry throughout Saturday, but you could see a passing shower late after most people are probably starting to go to bed. Then as we look at Sunday, we are seeing a little bit of an adjustment here with this particular model. This is our Barron model here from the folks in Huntsville, and it's starting to speed things up just a little bit. Like I said, we've been talking about a sort of a difference in timing with some of the models, but this model seems to have sped up just a little bit so that by Sunday around noon, you are getting a little bit more shower activity already getting into the western part of the state. And then as we get into the evening and early evening, more rain pushing in into the western part of Alabama, and some of those showers starting to reach into the eastern sections as well by Sunday evening, and then continuing to move through. Now, this is showing some fairly heavy showers still sticking around for into Monday morning and into the afternoon of Monday, so that'll be something we'll watch as well. We already are expecting some lingering showers Monday for sure, but we'll continue to kind of fine-tune things as far as the heaviness of some showers that might linger into Monday. But again, it looks like the timing might be trying to sync up a little bit more between the models, which is good to get a little bit more certainty there as we move towards it. And now looking at our drought monitor, again, this is drought monitor day, Thursdays. It was updated earlier this morning. This is last week's. We switch over to this week. You can see drought has expanded a little bit further to the south, the extreme drought, excuse me, but the northern section of that has been clipped off a little bit. So there's been a little bit of relief in parts of Pickens and Tuscaloosa County. The rest of the state, not a lot of change. I think I saw a little bit of expansion in the severe drought, the orange there. Overall, though, not a big change from last week because we had some of that rain come through the state this past Sunday. And then for this Sunday, again, this is what we're expecting for that rainfall outlook for that time period of Sunday kind of into Monday and even through Wednesday as well. You can see that we hopefully will get around 3/4 to an inch of rain in a fairly widespread manner during that time frame. If we can do that, again, that helps at least kind of forestall worsening of the drought too much generally. You see there are heavier rain totals expected farther to the west, but we really aren't expecting to get that here. And even up to our east as well, we'll get a little bit more. So we're kind of unfortunately stuck in between where we'll get not quite as much as some of the places surrounding us there. Here's your Friday night football forecast. It's looking really nice. Perfect football weather. A little bit cooler than we've seen here recently, but really nice. So for the forecast for the north, we expect to be in the 60s to start off and falling through the 50s over the course of the game. And you can see here that it'll be pretty cool there by the time that the final whistle occurs. Down in the southern part of the state, we'll start off a little bit warmer, maybe into the low to mid 70s as you start off, and then falling to the 60s and eventually getting into the 50s, but it may be mostly 60s though while the games are still underway. 7-day forecast for North Alabama, about as good as it gets, with highs in the low 70s and lows down into the 40s. There's your chance of showers mainly on Sunday. And again, the northern part of the state, we expect mostly showers. Don't really expect too many rumbles of thunder. But we'll, again, continue to fine-tune that, but not a lot of instability to work with. And then as we head into next week, again, some lingering showers the first couple of days. Wednesday's kind of still, we're going back and forth on model solutions on that, so we could potentially increase our rain chances again on that day, but we'll keep an eye on that. And then for South Alabama, again, really nice, a little bit warmer with highs down or up into the low 80s for the next couple of days. And then Saturday looks great as well. Sunday, there's your chance of some showers mainly. And then after that, again, we start to ramp the rain chances back down a little bit and temperatures stay fairly seasonable. Well, that is your forecast update. We appreciate you watching us here on the Alabama Weather Network.